Hi, welcome back to the channel. In this episode I want to get this bus back on its wheels and running so I can move it in and out of the garage. To do that I've got to get all the wiring sorted, throttle linkage, brake, clutch, etc. So loads and loads to do, so let's crack on with it. First quick job I've got is to refit these air vent end caps. I've given them a quick coat of black satin paint, same as the dash, so I'm going to get these fitted now. Before I can start putting back the brake pedals and throttle linkage and stuff like that, I want to underseal the whole of the inside of the wheel arches and underneath where I've done welding on the chassis, etc., and on the front valance. Get it all undersealed before I start putting stuff back on. Next job is to sort out the wiring, and what as in an earlier episode, I routed the main harness from the rear to the front through the front panel, and this is the behind the dash wiring loom. This is the fuse box. That's the plug that connects the front to the rear. Some of the rear wires go into the fuse box as well. This is to the rear lights. These are the side lights. That one goes to the dash, and this is the radio and other bits and pieces. So what I want to do, I want to go through it all, clean it all with some contact cleaner, which will help to get rid of anodizing, etc. I want to go through it all, make sure there's no loose connections, and then wrap everything in insulation tape, get it all nice and organised, and then I can put it back in the vehicle.
Thank you.
Right, I've got the wiring loom all cleaned up and I've taped off all the bits and pieces. Everything seems to be in place, there's no loose connections. I've gone through and cleaned everything, so now I'm going to put it back in the bus. Before I can actually put this back in, I want to just reconnect this plug on the end of the wiring loom that comes from the back of the bus that connects to that. I had to disconnect it in order to get it through the hole in the front valance. Well, that's the dash pod, instrument pod, wired in. Pretty straightforward. I'm not going to secure it for the time being because I'm sure I'm going to have to take it off again and have a play with it. Next up I'm going to do the lights and wiper, lights, wipers and hazard warning lights, switches. that's all the switches and dash roughly wired up. There's a few loose ends which I'll sort out later. It's going to be much easier when I've got the ignition and everything set up and the battery connected, then I can really start testing things. So yeah, that's the dash basically sorted. Right, well the next thing I want to do is shot blast all of these parts. There's some bits for the steering, handbrake, throttle, a couple of indicator and wiper shrouds, clutch pedal, brake pedal, etc. So I'm not going to do them with the big shot blaster. I've actually got a shot blasting cabinet connected to my regular compressor, so I'm going to do them in that. And when they're done, I'm going to paint them in the black epoxy mastic paint that I've been using. Right, well, now all of the bits that I painted are dry. First thing I'm going to do is get all the throttle linkage reassembled back in the bus. So, throttle linkage tubes, various other bits and pieces, throttle pedal and the linkages, etc. But before I do that, I've got a package that's just arrived that I want to get unboxed. Right, we've got a set of tent and awning poles, which we're going to use for the awning that goes with this bus. I've got a pair of side mats for the driver and passenger seats. These are the under seat floor mats for the driver and passenger seats. Got a new brake master cylinder reservoir. A load of plastic grommets for the door cards to go back on. 2 packs of those. Pivot pin for the handbrake and 2 retaining clips, and a bag of door card clips. A lot of people don't bother putting these grommets in, and these clips just don't seem to work very well without them. Right, well, that's the correct way round. It's one of two ways, so that's throttle up, and then that's the amount of movement it's got. So now I need to clamp it down. Next thing I want to do is sort the brakes out, so I want to get the brake pedal, clutch pedal and handbrake assembly all on with the new brake master cylinder fluid reservoir. Next job now is to fit the new brake master cylinder reservoir. next job is to fit the handbrake assembly. Right, well all I need to do now is connect up the handbrake cable to the bottom of the handbrake, and then that's all the braking system finished. When we bought this campervan, it had been resprayed, I think, in 2015, and they had chosen a non-VW colour. Well, I don't think it was a VW colour, and they'd had it mixed specially, and this is the paint that it was painted with, and there was about a quarter of a tin left in this. I've since used all of it on some repairs I had to do to the back of the vehicle. And I've run out of paint basically, and we want to keep the same colour. So I've been desperately trying to get a colour match. Now unfortunately the code on this paint, and this is a LiQWYD paint, and the code has got some paint on it and it's quite difficult to read. I've tried to get the colour scanned and mixed in a different make of paint, but I've not had any success with that. I've tried a couple of places and each time they've basically said they can't match it. And the closest one I did get, I did a test piece and it was very different. So I've found a company and they have mixed a 2 litre tin of LiQWYD paint to the code that I think it is, although it's a bit sketchy, and they've sent it to me. So I'm going to open it now and see if it's, fingers crossed, it looks like the same colour. So I've got a technical data sheet here on how to mix and use the paint. I've got a litre of thinner, which seems to be leaking a bit. I've got a litre of air dry hardener. And 2 litres of paint, which is this is the LiQWYD 68 line paint, and the code that I've had mixed is CE-SBO86.01. So let's see if it's the right colour. Well, I can see now that that's totally the wrong colour. So something's gone really wrong there. Well, this is the colour that we want, and that's the colour that we've had mixed. So I think, obviously I haven't given them the right code. Right, whilst I work out what I'm going to do next, and that's probably going to be order another 2 litres but with the same code, but with 1 digit changed, because the problem with this code was that there was an 8 which I couldn't decide whether it was a 3 or an 8, so I'm pretty sure now that it must be a 3. So I'm going to reorder it with that code. Hopefully it'll come back the same colour, and then I can get on and paint the vehicle. But until then, that's the end of this episode. So thanks for watching. Please like if you like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.